Alright, family and friends, a couple of quick garden updates. We're going to start off, I'm going to take you inside the garage. We're putting together some more garden beds to go out here in the inner garden and maybe over to the garage garden. We'll see how much we get done today. But we'll take you there, and then we're going to come back out and show you some of what we've done and some more of what we got planned.
This is me, SK2, and this is SK1 and Mrs. SG.
Hi.
How are you doing, Mrs. SG?
I feel good doing this bed.
Alright, family and friends. We're out here in the garage, and SK1 and Mrs. SG are helping put together some more of our garden beds so that we can replace some of our old rotted out wooden beds. We put together several of our 3x6 beds, which we mix and match parts to put around one of our slightly larger beds. We made a 6x9 bed for more of our perennials, and we're putting together some of the 4x8s now. So we'll show you these when we get them set up in the yard and filled up, and hopefully these will last us a long time out in the garden. But they're doing a great job so far. These beds are slightly different than the beds we put together before that we got from Northern Tools. These have a support bracket on the ends, and the support bar screws into that bracket as opposed to actually screwing into the panel itself. So yeah, we'll see. Still the same basic design, just slight tweaks on it. So the beds are done, and one thing we should point out that we did different, and again, all the beds, they always change things. These have wing nuts as opposed to the traditional nuts and bolts. But when you normally put these beds together, you put a crossbar at the top and one at the bottom if you're starting from scratch. But because we're replacing our beds that already have soil in them, we're taking out the old wood, we're putting the two crossbars at top. So we don't have to dig so far down into the existing dirt. And if necessary, I'll show you when we go out, if we think there's any chance that the soil is going to cause it to bow out, we'll just reinforce it with a garden stake or a piece of rebar. So we got another 4x4 done. Mrs. SG and SK1, a 4x8 done. And Mrs. SG and SK1 are gonna go set it up. SK1's trying to earn some allowance money. So this is one of the 4x8s, and it's actually going to replace our rhubarb bed over there, but I stand corrected. Our horseradish bed, we've already replace our rhubarb bed, and this is one of the cases where we actually reconfigured some of the beds together. We took two of our 3x6 beds because this bed with the 4x4 pieces was actually about 4x5 by 8x5 or 8x6, so it was a little big to put a 4x8 bed around it. So we took our 3x6 beds and we reconfigured them, and we made a 6x9 foot bed, which is okay because we actually plan to put perennials in the center part of this bed. Our rhubarb, our goji berries, we're going to add some more in. And in the edges where we actually have to reach in, we'll do onions, we'll do tomatoes, we'll do peppers, we'll do bok choy, we'll do, just different annuals or maybe biennials that we can easily reach in to get, and that should work out. But these are a really inexpensive bed. We may put a link to them on our Amazon storefront, but one of the things we had to do because we reconfigured these, the cross pieces are a little bit different because there's a piece that sticks out here, and because these were originally 3x6 beds, when we made it a 6x9 bed, we connected two of the cross pieces to secure it, and also for a little extra security we put some rebarb in the middle at the 4.5 foot mark, and this will just help prevent this from bowing out, which it didn't seem like it was, but we know over time as it rains and it gets compacted, we've seen it with some of our wood beds. We wanted to make sure that didn't happen, so we're happy with that. We got this filled up, added some garden soil, some worm castings, topped it off with some mulch, and now it's set to go with some of the plants we're hardening off in the greenhouse, and we'll also do some direct sowing on it. And hopefully our goji berry, which still has lots of flowers, it had more flowers earlier, but there's still some more on there, will give us plenty of goji berries like it did last year. And this 4x8 bed will be going over here, which we got to cut some grass soon. We'll be going over here, and we thought about configuring a bed because you can see what I mean. The end pieces are actually 4 feet long, but just the way that we set it up with the 4x4 and the other 2x8 extends it out another 4 inches or so. So the 4x8s didn't fit in there easily. What we'll do on this one, per Mrs. SG's guidance, is we'll just knock these boards off, and then we'll just dig down until the bed settles in place, because we've got a lot of wood rot on this one right here, and once it's rotted so much that those screws won't hold in place, it's basically gone. And we did have one bed that we replaced that actually had some termite issues in it, so we treated it and replaced it over here. I guess I don't need to walk over there, but that bed actually has some termite issues, so we had to treat for the termites, and we replaced that wooden bed, and now it's good to go. And over time, we know we'll be replacing any of our wooden beds that start to break down or that we see termite presence in. We'll be replacing those because we definitely don't want termites anywhere near our house if possible. But we'll get this one taken care of next. We got a few more beds, and I feel like I'm always saying we've got a few more beds because in between videos, if I catch a sale, we'll add more into our cart because we know over time we'll probably replace all of our wooden beds. So, but things are looking good. We're starting to get more out in the garden. As always, we've always got the never-ending battle with the weeds, but things are looking good. Our bay laurel is really looking good, so we'll be harvesting again from it this year. And one good thing about the bay laurel plant is, you know, depending on how much you cook with it, 1 or 2 plants in your garden will give you bay laurels to cook with throughout the year. So occasionally we have to check on our solar setup, make sure everything's going okay, and very rarely we'll have to reset. So I need to do some research on that and see, because we noticed today, even though it's a partially cloudy day, we noticed our fan hadn't come on. You can see it. We noticed our fan hadn't come on like we expected it. So I just reset our solar converter, and now everything's working. I basically just turned it off and back on, so that seemed to work, but we'll keep an eye on that. And we got something in the mail today, which I'm gonna show you. I've already started opening it, but I'm gonna finish opening it, lay it out so everybody can see it. And this is just a treat for me and Mrs. SG out here in the garden. Little splurge by the Sapper. We got us some metal garden stakes. These will last probably longer than the Sapper will. And we just got a variety of things that we grow a lot. And these are nice because we can just pick them up and move them around the garden each year as we do our crop rotation. I'm not going to go through all these, but we got them for peppers, we got them for tomatoes, we got them for #1 crop in most gardens, peas, and we just got a variety of everything. And obviously this won't be enough for every bed that we have, because last count we had over 100 4x4 garden spaces, which is how we measure our beds out. So this won't be enough to cover what we plant in every bed, but it'll be nice decoration for us out here. And we love to make our garden as welcoming and pleasing as possible. I said I wouldn't go through all these, but I'm almost through now, so may as well pull out the last few that we have. 2 more here, and then 1 more packet. Yeah, these are nice. And actually, one of our friends, who I don't mention enough, even though I should, is Cheryl and her husband Chris are Back to Our Roots. Cheryl likes to make her garden look good and add things, and hopefully things that don't break the bank. And we need to do more of that too. I'm a bit frugal, and Mrs. SG is about as frugal as I am, maybe even more frugal than I am. But sometimes we have to remember we only live once, and this is the only garden we have, so we're gonna splurge every now and then. Watermelons, which we actually just got out since it's nice and warm. We got out some of our watermelons, our okra. We've transplanted our tomatoes out a few weeks ago. And the garden's looking good. I'll take you guys and give you a real quick shot through this year's tomato alley, my wife's second favorite leafy green behind bok choy. And another plant we love all types of radish, daikon, French breakfast. We like all. And last but not least, which is one of our last ones we've gotten out this year, is potatoes. So these are just things that I thought would look nice in our garden. And sorry for the quick turnaround. We'll be getting these put down wherever we want things, and these will be good for planting, because as we pull stuff out, we may actually even leave these in the garden over winter. Hopefully they are good with the elements and we can move them before we start bringing out our plants, so we know what'll go where. So me and Mrs. SG are not working at cross purposes. We know where everything's gonna go. Alright, family and friends, this is a few hours later. We've gotten a lot done in the garden. But this video went a lot longer than we expected, so we're actually going to break it up and we'll put out the rest of this in a separate video. We walked around, we did some other stuff in the garden, we looked at some things in the garden, but we'll get that out later on this week. So I'm gonna go in and rest these old bones, and hopefully everybody enjoys seeing the updates to the garden. So as always, this is Rob the Sapper Gardener representing Essayons Family Garden, saying God bless our great country America, and God bless you wherever you reside around the world. Take care. Sapper out.